And we're back.
Here we are.
Everyone, everyone watching, hello, hello. Thanks for joining me and Alex Segura. We are talking about the newest Dynamite crossover Humble Bundle. So, for people who aren't super familiar with what a Humble Bundle is, it's all of these digital comic books that you can get for a low price, essentially, and you can really pay for what you want. You can get all the books for as low as $18, or maybe just a few select issues for even less. And the best part about this particular Humble Bundle is all benefiting the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund.
Yeah, it's a great organization. Humble Bundle is a great resource for just folks that want to get a ton of comics for a great price and read digitally. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a good deal. You get a ton of great crossovers, great Dynamite comics. So I'm excited for people to chip in. And you're doing a
And
good service. You're supporting a great
yes,
charity, a great organization.
I do love doing that. I always love
Yeah,
helping.
yeah.
So your particular series, that's a part of this wonderful Humble Bundle, is Green Hornet and Miss Fury, which came
Mhm.
out last year.
Yes.
Was it
I think
early
so.
last year? I'm trying to remember because that was the
It
last
was,
time we spoke.
yeah, I think it was early last year, end of the year before. But yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. And we talked a little bit before we started about the reception of the story,
hmm
of
Yeah, I think the
how.
response was really positive. I think Henry, my co-writer, and I had a great time. We really loved the character Green Hornet, and I think the best part of the series was we got to elevate another character, Miss Fury, who is an
Mhm,
amazing heroine, like the first of her kind, and it was really interesting to see them play off each other. And I think it surprised a few readers and how both
mhm.
characters were represented, and that was really fun to kind of play with expectations a bit. And we added a little bit of lore to the Green Hornet origin or backstory, which I always like to do. I always like to kind of tinker with the past and just bring
Mhm.
out lost elements from the past. And so it was really fun, and also to give Kato his spotlight, more of a spotlight, as he's not just a sidekick, he's actually very capable on his own.
Our fan here, Ronan Unchanged.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy that he's here because he wanted to hear more about the book, and
Yeah.
we're trying to get the hardcover and trade paperback very soon. Recently on our Dynamite live streams, we've featured we had an Elvira come out recently. We had the King Kong trade come out recently. So hopefully soon we'll be able to get to Green Hornet and Miss Fury.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, it's a great I'm really proud of the story. I think the book itself, Federico Soressa, the artist, it was his first kind of big work for a
Mm-hmm.
major company, and I think he knocked it out of the park. He's got a very dynamic but also detail oriented style, and I think that kind of story really synced up with his strengths, and so it was really cool to see him grow from issue to issue and just get better with each page. So
Since we're talking about crossovers today, that's the main
hmm
theme. I asked recently Eric Burnham and David Avalone like how they take on a crossover. So I'll bring it up to you. What to you makes a good crossover, and how do you approach
yeah,
writing one?
it's a great question. I think the challenge with Green Hornet and Miss Fury, it's like, where do these characters overlap? Like, where my favorite kind of crossovers act like the characters exist in the same world. Like, I'm not really into like multiverse hopping or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we started from a place of synergy where Green Hornet and Miss Fury exist in the same city, and there's some overlap there. And how do they play off each other? It would have been pretty boring if Green Hornet and Miss Fury were identical, and whereas Green Hornet is similar to Batman, like a friend to the police, at least certain iterations of Batman. Green Hornet
Mm-hmm.
is allied with the police department, helps the police department. Miss Fury is very much a vigilante to even other vigilantes. She's solitary. She doesn't trust the police or the establishment, and is almost is much more of a vigilante than Green Hornet. So it's like, how do these two heroes oppose each other and then come together to fight a common evil? And it was really fun to dig into the lore for each of them and pull out obscure characters and villains and little Easter eggs. Similar to what I do with like Dick Tracy and other pulp heroes I've written, is fans really appreciate it when you know your stuff and it's clear that you've
Mm-hmm.
spent time reading the material, but also when you tell a story that feels modern and lively. And so that was the goal for Henry and I, was to obviously live in the history, but not make it feel like a plot synopsis. We wanted it to feel like a new lost story
Mhm.
for both of these like characters that have been around for so long.
Do you hope to write another crossover story with the two of them?
I'd love to.
Like,
Yeah, we definitely, without spoiling anything, by the end of the last issue, there's a hope that they can continue. There's a, there's this. They finally come together and become allies, but then something terrible happens, and so you're left wondering, like, is it going to happen? Like, are they going to continue
mhm.
to be friends or continue to work together? But I'd love to. I think there's a lot of potential there.
Would you want to mix them up with anybody else from Dynamite? I probably asked you this question before, but I'm asking again just to
Yeah,
refresh
no,
my memory.
it's a great question. I love the Black Terror. I think he's a really underutilized character, and I love the Project Superpower stuff that Dynamite has, like that whole library of awesome superheroes. So I would love to tinker with them, and even just telling another Green Hornet Miss Fury, I think would be a lot of fun, and we could definitely up the stakes.
Sounds really, really cool. Like, do you have any favorite crossover stories out there that aren't yours? Anything that helped inspire Green Hornet and Miss Fury?
The classic stuff like Superman meets Spider-Man. I love the amalgam stuff when it was Marvel and DC kind of merging characters. Um, even kind of weird stuff like Star Trek meets X-Men, like when it's two worlds that you wouldn't expect to merge
Mm-hmm.
together, like seeing them together. And also I've written a bunch in my time as well, like with Arch, sorry, my doorbell went off. With Archie meets Kiss, Archie meets Ramones, Archie meets the B-52s, like unlikely things like that are always fun to experience.
I'm trying to think about what else we have in the Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
I want to see like what else would you be a fan of? I know I recently talked to David Avalone, like all of some of his Elvira series
Oh, those are great. I really
is in
love,
here.
the Betty and Veronica meet Vampirella Red Sonja stuff. I think that's in there, right? Those are really fun
I
to read.
That specific issue, I'm not sure, but I
Oh,
know
okay.
his Elvira issues, like her in Monsterland, her and
Yeah.
Vincent Price.
Yeah, and lots of the Army of Darkness stuff, I'm sure, has had fun
Mhm.
crossovers as well. And I know Dynamite just announced Archie meets Army of Darkness, so I'm sure that's not in the bundle
Yeah.
because it hasn't come out yet, but that looks really fun too. So Dynamite has a really strong history of crossovers and stuff with masks. The Masks
Mhm.
book is really cool that I
Yes,
think
they're part of it.
has the Shadow and some of the Project Superpowers stuff in there. That it's just neat. It's just cool to see those characters interacting for the first time or early in their careers, and kind of seeing these different personalities play off each other.
I was lucky to speak to Eric Burnham a couple, like yesterday, a little bit about what's coming for Archie and Army of Darkness,
Hmm.
and I'm like, you're taking these two polar opposite things and mush them together, and he's like, I got the go ahead to do whatever he wanted with
Yeah,
it, and I'm like, do you think that's good for a crossover where you get to do anything, or do you think you need a few limits when you're
I think
writing that kind of stuff?
yeah. I mean, I think it's great to be able to cut loose with stuff like that. Like, it allows for more creativity. But I think also as a writer, and I'm sure Eric does this too, is who the characters are. So there's a box
Mhm.
that these are things that the character can do, and if you go outside that box, then it's not that character anymore. So you can put these characters in weird situations as long as they're true to themselves, and I'm sure that's what he's aiming for.
I'm trying to think, and something I've been asking our
Hmm.
audience is that like is there something we haven't touched on yet that they would love to see, whether it's with Dynamite like again, we're really playing with our Dynamite characters because we've had our Warner Brothers titles. We had a
Hmm.
crossover with Space Ghost and Johnny Quest.
Yeah,
Um, we had the Thundercats and the Powerpuff Girls together, which is
so cool. Yeah.
sounds like it doesn't make any sense, but it was a very fun series, especially even
Yeah.
if you're just a fan of one or the other.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
and it's also you do crossovers so you can pull from another audience. Like you
Mhm.
do something like, yeah, like Thundercats meets Powerpuff Girls. You're hoping that readers of Powerpuff Girls are like, oh, Thundercats, this is interesting. I'm going to hop into the regular
Mhm.
series. And so the idea is to blend these cool worlds and sometimes in unexpected ways to tell something more interesting that'll pull other people into your worlds.
And one big crossover that's currently going right now is Elvira and Harley Quinn.
Hmm.
So I mean, that's that's a really big collaborative effort because we're talking with DC,
Right. Yeah, and it's Jimmy and Amanda, and
Mhm.
it's a
who
great,
are a
great
great team.
team.
Like,
Yeah, just an amazing team, and they basically redefined Harley Quinn in comics for years and years and years. and it's great to see them back on the character, and it makes perfect sense to have her crossover with Elvira. It's just a fun comic.
I'm thinking, I'm trying to remember if we've ever had Elvira meet any of our Dynamite characters. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can do that, because I mean, Elvira has her own team that she has to say
Yeah, for
okay
sure.
to.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, it's just having Jimmy and Amanda doing Harley Quinn again is neat.
Mm-hmm. I guess I probably best way to wrap this up. I
Mm-hmm.
told you, like, we weren't gonna
Yeah,
be
no
here all
worries. Yeah,
day,
this is
but
fun. I love the book. We had a great time working on that book. I think it's one of the comics that we really invested so much passion and love for the character. So I
Mhm.
think Green Hornet is underrated. I think he is such an icon, so identifiable. Like, his show ran around the same time as the Batman '60s show. Has a long history, great creators like Kevin Smith, Mark Waid, Matt Wagner, Aaron Campbell, so many great creators that have worked on the character. It really was a privilege to get to add to that mythos. So yeah, we'd love to do more, but we're really proud of the work we did.
Would you ever just do, like, maybe just a Miss Fury series? Or I don't know if we can do Miss Fury again. I don't, because
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I mean, I
it's
think
been a minute.
yeah, it's been a minute. I think so. I mean, I think it's the Dynamite version of Miss Fury is Dynamite. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think I would love to do. I think we had a great time with the character. I think we added a lot of depth to her and complexities in her backstory and her world. So we wrote it with the idea that either we could continue to tell stories with them together or apart, but really like kind of shape them and kind of set it up so there are more stories to tell. So we're up for it for sure.
Cool. So I guess, how do we make one final plea for everyone to check out? Not just Green
Yeah.
Hornet, Miss Fury, but this humble bundle. What should we say to our audience watching?
I think
Just
the name of it's just an amazing opportunity to get a ton of great fun comics that not only introduce you to one concept, but let two or three concepts per crossover. And if you need the icing on the cake, you're doing a good deed in the process by supporting the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. And look, if you're like me and you live in New York and you don't have a ton of space, it'll all just show up on your iPad or whatever e-reader you use. So you don't even have to explain the new stuff you brought into the house. You have all this stuff just taking up a file name on your computer or e-reader, and it's really a bargain. Like if you look at the prices elsewhere for these books, like you're getting so much good content at such a reduced rate. So it's really a deal that you have to jump on now.
Deaf Toy says good luck.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I don't think I could say any better. Like, because yeah, in the end, you're getting great stories and you're helping a good cause.
Yeah. Yeah. What more do you want? So hopefully it does well. I know Humble Bundle has a great track record with these, and they do them regularly. So it's definitely someone you want to follow. And Dynamite partners with Humble Bundle pretty frequently, so it's something to keep tabs on too.
Yeah. So, Alex, thank you so much for sitting with me
Of
today. Like,
course.
I'm sure I can't imagine how busy your schedule is. I'm sure you're writing all the time.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but I'm happy to help. I love this book. We had a great time working on it. Henry and Federico were really wonderful partners. Our editor Joe Corallo was such a great resource and helpful along the whole way. And thanks to Nick and Joe for having me. And so, yeah, always happy to help.
thank you, thank you, thank you. So, I hope everyone checks out the series. I hope everyone checks out the Humble Bundle, and just thank you to everyone for sitting with us today. And thank you again to Alex. I hope to talk to you again soon.
For sure. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.